today and a lot of catching up to do. Life has been very busy as of late. I shared with you guys before, we are foster parents, and so we got our first placement, and he's amazing. He's such a little blessing to our family. But it has made this busy season with gardening and seed starting much harder to do as far as just scheduling and filming for you guys. It's a lot, but we're learning to juggle. We are finding a routine that works for everybody. So I have lots of milk because we have an automatic delivery, my goodness, set up for a gallon a week. However, for whatever reason, we haven't been drinking a ton of milk this week. So I am going to get some yogurt going. We're gonna make some Greek yogurt. If you haven't ever done this before, it's super easy. Also, I'm not letting that cream go to waste. I'm gonna put that in my coffee. You just pour the milk in. I just put 2 dollops of yogurt in there. If we buy yogurt from the store, we shop at Aldi, and I get the whole milk Greek yogurt. Sometimes I'll get the organic stuff if it's on sale. And then you mix it in, and if you have the fancy Instapot, you just set it on the yogurt setting for like 8 to 12 hours, and then put it in the fridge and let it thicken up. You can also strain it and make it thicker, so there's not just one way to do it. I have to show y'all something. I started my seeds. However, there's a little culprit in our house. And no, it's not Silas and it's not the dogs that is nibbling on the seeds. I haven't turned my lights on yet, so we're gonna do all of this together. Now, if you're following along on Instagram, you've probably seen my post because I was just so upset about it, but you can see the tops of my peppers, the majority of them have been nibbled off. You see that? They're like little stubs now. Thankfully, not all of them, but enough for me to be bummed out, that's for sure. Like all of my, I think those are the California bell peppers. I don't think that guy's gonna make it, but all the other ones were chewed off. So I shared on Instagram about what happened and just asked for, has this happened to anybody? Like, we don't have a mouse issue. We don't have like critters living in our home. If anything, the only thing I let live in our home is spiders, which some of you are gonna be like, oh, what? But to me, spiders are not an issue. Yeah, they're creepy and they're crawly, but like they don't bother us more than anything else. Gnats bother us, mosquitoes bother us, and they're things that spiders eat. So I'd rather have the spiders. But I had way too many people say it's a mouse, and I was like, it's not a mouse. We don't have mice in the house. I've never had an issue. And then my husband the other day was like, I could have sworn I saw a mouse. And I was like, no, like there's no way. And so he looked in the cabinet where he thought he saw the mouse like go up into a hole that he knew because he built them. And sure enough, mouse poop. So anyways, we have sticky trap set now, and hopefully that'll do the trick. I haven't had any more issues. Hopefully, like they ate the peppers and they were like, nah, this is not for me. Because I'm about to start my tomatoes and some other plants, and I really don't want to start them if I'm just feeding a colony of mice. It's a high of 81 degrees today. But in a couple days, like on my birthday, this might actually, I don't know if I'll get this posted before then, but it's supposed to be like super rainy, chance of snow, back in the 30s, and it's an 81 high today. At this point, I'm over it. I'm over Iowa weather. So I have decided though that I am going In years past, I have felt FOMO thanks to my southern friends who have started their seeds and are already planting stuff outside, like outside of greenhouses and low tunnels and high tunnels and all this stuff. And normally what happens is I will start all of my seeds because I feel behind, because everybody I am friends with or follow have already started theirs. And here I am in zone 5 in Iowa thinking, oh no, like I'm gonna miss my window if I don't start my seeds now. And then what happens is they get too long, they get too big, they start to become leggy because they're going past, you know, like the next shelf where the lights are at. And so this year I decided I'm not going to fall into the FOMO feeling, but I'm going to wait until April. So I'm kind of pushing it, you know, especially when it comes to tomatoes that need like 6 to 8, some are 8 to 10, but most are 6 to 8 weeks before your first frost date, which for us is actually May 5th this year, which I personally think is really early. Usually it's later. So I'm not going to plant anything out until after Mother's Day, which is later in the month. But that gives me about roughly 7 to 8 weeks if I start my seeds the first week of April for them to germinate and start inside. So that's what I'm going to do. That's on my agenda today. We're actually going to go pick up some soil right now. But before I do that, I want to show you guys another thing that we're going to be getting soil for. I asked Caleb to make these cold frame planters for me. These are windows from the house that we've renovated. And they're so nice. So I'm going to get some soil just to toss in here. Before I put any soil in here, I'm going to add like a bunch of cardboard we've got sitting around, and then obviously leaves and old hostas. But I've got a second one right over here next to the garlic and thousands of dead bees, unfortunately. But I got another one right there. And then it's almost time to uncover my worm bin. So I will video that to kind of give you guys an update on if this overwintering experiment worked or if we're going to be ordering more worms. So figure it out together. Anyways, let's go to the store. You know, it's finally springtime in Iowa for me when I whip out the Chacos. We got them. So on the way home, I stopped by our yard fill place where I get free soil. And I thought it would be too soon for them to actually have any soil, or they didn't have any mulch out actually, but it might have been in the back, but they had soil out and I thought it was too soon for that. So I could have got away with only buying 1 bag of this organic potting soil because I'll need it for starting seeds like tomatoes and stuff, like I told you guys earlier. However, I got 3 because I thought, well, if I'm going to get some onions and some other lettuces like spinach and just greens planted out in these cold frames, that I want to have good composting soil. And so I got 2 more bags, but now I'm like, I could have saved the money there. That's okay. It was money well spent and it supported a local store, so it's fine. But I think I am going to rearrange my entire morning and go back and get some soil as long as the baby stays asleep. So it's just one of those days where you like want to maximize what you can, especially when it's about to be 30 degrees in like 4 days. Like you want to get as much done outside as you possibly can. We've got lots of our perennials starting to pop up. The irises, they've been trying to come up. Looks like the squirrels are already trying to eat them, unfortunately. This one's a really beautiful variegated one. Oh yeah, it is the tag. I also noticed I had some snapdragons coming back, and I wasn't so sure that they would because I got them super cheap from the farmer's market because the season was going out. And I planted them anyways. Where did I see them? Where did I plant them? Oh. I'm like forgetting. I mean, fall, summer, whatever you want to call it. Okay, these aren't the snapdragons. These are hollyhocks. But I do have snapdragons growing back. So these ones, aren't they beautiful? They get really tall. And then I had a local friend give me, I can't even remember what this plant is called, but it basically is like a celery replacement. Like it smells and tastes just like celery. My strawberries and rhubarb are coming back. We'll see if that raspberry makes it. If not, I'll just get more from my parents. But look at them. They are really prolific. And then I've got my mint, which of course has been growing all over the yard, coming back. It's a cat mint, I believe. Yeah, it's very cat minty. Hey, buddy. What you doing? What you doing? Hey, Bubba. So yeah, it's pretty exciting seeing the perennials come back. Uh-oh. Baby's crying. Time to get to work. So my plan is to get as full of a trailer load as I can. And then there's like holes in our backyard that the dogs have dug that I fill typically every spring. And then fill those cold frame boxes. And then our garden beds, even though we built them almost 2 years ago now at this point, they're still settling. And part of that is because we have a bunch of carbon material in the bottom. We have cardboard and small sticks and wood chips and stuff so that it can naturally decompose and compost and feed the soil. But with that, that means that we have to typically top off our soil every single spring. We made it. This is definitely gonna be enough for me to fill my cold frames and to fill some holes in the backyard. Gotta pull off all of the stickers, the tape, all the sticky stuff because it will not decompose in the soil like the cardboard will, and the worms, they don't like it. I'm also going to grab these wood shavings. We were going to use these in the bee boxes. Oh Lord. And we never did. So the reality is they're probably just going to sit in here, so I might as well go let them return to the earth. Oh my gosh, I cannot pick this up. We have got the cold frames ready for planting. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just put a couple different heads of lettuce. I don't like to do a lot of lettuce. All the neighborhood dogs. I don't like to do heads of lettuce in the garden because I focus primarily on vertical gardening there because we want to maximize our space. And so I think I'm going to do some more like butter lettuce or like just heads of lettuce, maybe even some cabbage in here, which I can plant now. Even though it's going to be 30 something in a couple of days, I can go ahead and plant in here because it'll hold the heat. But I'm going to go ahead and sign off because I have a gazillion things to do in filming for you guys. As much as I enjoy it and love being able to show you what we are doing and how we are stewarding our little homestead here, time is limited and I got to maximize my time as well. So I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much for being here and for tagging along. Until then.